everybody, and welcome again to another recipe from Daddy's Kitchen. Now, I haven't done any recipes. I've been watching the news and trying to get information as much as I can about what's going on all throughout the U.S. Minnesota, Minneapolis. You have some people call it riots. I don't. The uprising of the people. Now, the funny thing is that, and sad thing is that a lot of people are complaining about the violence against property, yet we don't complain about violence against human beings. We don't complain about violence, on the side of the Palestinians. We don't complain about violence in the history of the U.S., whether it was through Native Americans, African Americans, ever since they got here. So if you want to complain about looting, please start complaining about that. Learn your history. I mean, we make heroes out of the tea. My God, my mind escapes me. But the Tea Party, not these yellow flag, new racists Tea Party of today, but the Tea Party where they threw tea from a boat during the colonial period, and we glorify them. Yet they were looting, they were taking property and throwing it out. Property did not belong to them. Yet we have people here, but they happen to be of color. They're doing the same thing, and yet people are going crazy, especially people who don't know history, people who do not follow what's going on, or they watch one YouTube video and all of a sudden they know everything, right? I mean, YouTube, you have a bunch of people that are gonna speak their mind, whether they're right or wrong, and that's it. I mean, look at me. I pretend to be a chef. How much do I know about cooking? To be honest, not much. Okay? So please, as you watch YouTube, especially on Facebook, especially on this, please get your sources correct. Okay? Please pay attention to what they're saying. There may be 10%, there may be some 10% truth to that, but 90% of that, of the rest, it's all fake. So again, read, learn from people who actually know. Learn your history, and we're going to talk about the appraisals, and we're going to talk about the uprising of what's happening today. Please know that this is not the first time. I mean, if you're from LA, you saw it in '92. You saw after Rodney King was beaten up, and then those cops got off scot-free. You saw what happened. And back then, they're looting, they're doing this, they're doing that. And they said, no, that's not the way to do it. Well, guess what? You had people protesting, quote unquote, the right way, and they get attacked. So please, before you start attacking the looting, know what you're talking about, okay? Oh my God, peaceful protesting. First of all, a protest in itself should not be peaceful. I am sorry, but no. The marches that you've had, that you've attended when that idiot in the White House, Trump, was elected, that was not a protest, that was a march, okay? So don't confuse them. So in itself, a protest is going to get violent, okay? Now, remember, rights are never given by those in power. Rights are taken from those in power. So if you're going to make some changes, something has to happen. And in a way, I'm glad people are rising up. The violence, you know what? I am sorry. Some TVs are going to get stolen. Some windows are going to get broken. But you know what? Lives, okay? I'm not an African American, and I could never put my feet, I could never be in the shoes of an African American. But please, you saw you've seen the treatment without, provocation. Oh, they had followed the law. You hear it all the time. Oh, there's only a few bad apples. Well, what happens to the good apples? Are they saying anything? So before this, did I hear any good apples talking about those bad apples? No. So in a sense, you have to take a side. I'm sorry. And if you complain about what's happening, the uprising right now, then you are on the side of the oppressor. Okay? Like the great Howard Zinn used to say, you can't be neutral on a moving train. So you're either on the side of the oppressor or you're on the side of the oppressed. So keep that in mind as you start talking and going on Facebook and saying this and doing that. about what's happening today. So please, please pay attention to your history, because then you'll see the true looting that's been happening ever since this country was established. This country was established on the basis of looting, taking other people's lands. Well, now it's, it's property. Okay, you can get property back, but you cannot get lives back. And it's time we stop and we do not allow those in power, okay, and that includes the cops, to do whatever they want, because they're immune to whatever's going to happen. Okay, so I am sorry I had to give my little bit of spiel on this, but I've been going a little crazy, and my son this morning said, "Dad, why don't you haven't done a recipe, do one." So kitchen cooking, it kind of takes me away from all this, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Try to calm down, and your comments, they're welcome, of course, but if you're some libertarian type that believes the government should be small and this and that, I don't want to hear you. I don't want to get into discussion with you. Okay, if you listen to some YouTube whatever personality who probably never finished college, okay, probably doesn't even know history, and you don't need to finish college. Okay, that's not what I'm saying, but you need to be well read, okay, before you start mouthing off about this and that. So if you want to talk, by all means, make a comment. That's fine. Okay, but this is sort of my way of escaping the reality. Luckily, I have that privilege. Speaking of privilege, I have the privilege to get away from all that, from listening to this and that, and get into my cooking. So that's what I'm doing today. Hopefully you can get away a little bit, but there are people who can't. There are people who live under the constant violence, the constant looting coming from those in power. Yet, those who are complaining about the looting that's happening today, freaking Target, AutoZone, okay, and there's videos going around of other people initiating all this violence. Okay, so please pay attention. Who's to say that this idiot in the White House is not sending people to go and get something started, because their dream is to have a civil war, okay, to make America great again. So please, okay, learn before you start babbling and babbling, kind of like what I'm doing. But I think I do like to read a little bit of history. So if you have a difference of opinion, but it's based on history, based on knowledge, based on information, not just based on watching a freaking video, then please, let's have a dialogue. Otherwise, I'm sorry. Okay, so welcome to another recipe. Sorry about the little spiel, but I had to let it out. So today we're gonna make my son's one of my son's favorite. It's called carbonara, spaghetti alla carbonara. It's one of the most popular dishes in Rome. It's a Roman dish. There are a couple, Rome is known for its carbonara. It's also known for its cacio e pepe, and it's also known for the fried artichokes. So if you are ever in Rome, make sure you have carbonara, cacio e pepe, and a fried artichoke. Okay. So what do I need for carbonara? Well, you need bacon, although in reality you need what it's called, pancetta, or you need the cheek of the pig, which right now escapes me. That way you can tell I don't script these videos, I just make them, no second take. So you need guanciale, there you go, that's the name of it. Guanciale, which is the cheek of a pig. It's full in fat. If you don't have, then you can go and get pancetta, which is a sort of bacon-like, and of course you can't find pancetta, bacon will do, and that's what I'm using here. I'm using bacon. I'm gonna use 3 eggs. Actually, I'm gonna use 1 full egg and 2 yolks. Okay, so in total it's 3 eggs. Then I'm going to use, and this is key, pecorino romano. Okay, pecorino romano, it's similar to Parmesan. Okay, that's the one most people are familiar with, and sometimes they use Parmesan for this. But pecorino romano is saltier. Okay, And I'm gonna need probably about a quarter of cheese. And I'm going to grind my own black pepper. Okay, you'll see as the recipe goes. And now you're asking, where is the cream? Carbonara does not have cream. The cream is created by the egg, by the cheese, right? And of course by the water. Always use the water from your pasta. Now, which pasta am I using? I'm gonna use spaghetti. I was gonna make my own pasta. On the last time I made this, I made my own pasta, and I'm still learning, okay? So on the next time, I may just go ahead and do a recipe just pasta. But hopefully you'll like it, try it, and you tell me how it comes out. Okay, so the first thing we gotta do is we gotta get a pan. I love these, okay? And it's medium high. Give it a little bit more, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and add the bacon, okay? And we're gonna use the fat from the bacon and of course the cheese and And what I like to do is I like to take garlic, okay, and then just leave it there. I'll take it out in a bit, okay. So while that's cooking, I have the water for the pasta going. Now, this is it's a very quick recipe, okay. So while this is cooking, how do you want the bacon to cook? You don't want to burn it, just for it to render the fat. Okay, that's what you want. You want it to render the fat. So I'm gonna leave it there, probably about 5 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and do the eggs. Okay, so one egg is gonna be a full egg. Okay. And then I'm going to, so that way I can save the egg white for tomorrow. So I can make some scrambled eggs with that. So I just want the yolk. Okay, I just want the yolk. Now remember, you need to wash your hands. Okay. Here we go. Okay, actually, you know what? A little bit less egg. Okay. There we go. That should be enough. Wash our hands, dry them, and also add the cheese. So I have the cheese here. I grate it this much. Okay. I need a fork. Checking the, okay, so let me show you what it looks like. I'm going to show it to you here. Okay, so here, you have to smell that bacon. Okay, so now what you can do is you could get the pasta in there. Okay, if this were fresh pasta, then the pasta would take about 2 minutes to cook. Since it's not, it's going to take about 8 minutes. So what I may do is I may pull this aside because then I don't want it to burn. I don't want it to get too toasty. So I want to put it aside. Okay, leave it there. Okay, so I have the black pepper here. Okay, so I'm going to grind this. Okay, so I got the egg yolk right here. It's ready. Okay, Then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard the black pepper, the shell. Okay, just use sift through this. Okay. Okay, and as you can see, oops, that should be enough. Okay. Waiting now for the pasta. Remember, the pasta, you want it al dente, so that way you can cook a little bit of it with the bacon. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is take this pepper and cook it with bacon. Not yet. Okay. I'm waiting for the pasta to cook, and then we can go ahead and add the pepper. Okay, so we're back on. I got the pepper ready and the bacon. Okay, it's good to go. Okay, so in about a minute the pasta should be ready, and I'm gonna just take the pasta and throw it in the pan. Now when I throw the pasta in there, I'm gonna toss it. Well, actually we need the pepper. Okay, so and you probably had this at different restaurants, but you probably didn't know it was so easy, and it doesn't require cream. Okay, now you've probably had it with peas. Right here, let me throw a couple in there. Okay. Now don't show this in Rome, because then they'll kill me. They don't do this in Rome. Okay. So now that this is ready, let's go ahead and take the garlic out. And let's go ahead and take the pasta. I try not to make too much, because this one is going to be just for my son for the next couple of days. And you want to make this dish probably sometime, have it for lunch. Dinner is very heavy, like all pastas are. So if we were somewhere else, or if you're used to just going for a walk after dinner, then you can burn some of this stuff. Okay. There you go. And now it's making noise. So what does that mean? It's sizzling. You don't want that. Okay. So what you want instead is you want to get some water, pasta water, and you'll see it. Okay. Just a little bit more. Okay. So now you're gonna turn the the stove, turn it off. Okay, so there you go. And now here comes the magic. Okay, once this is off, Here I have the egg. I can add a little bit of pepper to the egg. Not too much. Now, in terms of the salt, okay, for the water for the pasta, be careful because bacon is salty, pecorino is salty, which is right here. So you want to be careful not to salt the water too much. Okay, so here we go. Now you may think, oh no, this is going to be bad or whatever. Okay, so here, and now we toss it. Okay. Ooh, I can smell it. And now you start seeing a little bit of the cream, which in reality is not cream. It's the cheese and the egg and the water. Okay. Okay, and now you have spaghetti alla carbonara. Okay, and remember I didn't use all of the cheese. Well, here you go. And then when you serve it, you can add a little more cheese. This is just to add a little more to the so-called sauce. The pepper, a little too much on that side, but we'll mix it right now, not a big deal. Okay, so next time you want pasta carbonara, you don't have to go to a restaurant and pay, I don't know, 20 bucks at a medium restaurant. You don't go to Olive Garden. You can just do this at home. And how long does it take? In reality, it takes me about half the time if I don't have to show you guys. But because I'm showing you, I'm making sure that this and that, it takes me a little bit longer. But this is a dish that can be made. That can be made easily in about 20 minutes. Again, the right ingredients. I wish I would have made pasta fresh pasta, but that one takes a little longer, believe it or not. Next time I may show you how to make pasta from scratch, which again is not that difficult. You need eggs, flour, you want 00 flour for that, a little bit of olive oil, and that's pretty much it. I use a machine, but you could actually do it without a machine. Okay, this is what it looks like. I hope you like it, and if you didn't like my little rant, I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. And you know, I'm a Bernie supporter, all the way. Unfortunately, he was taken, the nomination was taken from him, and we can get into a discussion about that, but we won't. So this was my getaway time. If, for example, as you're reading the news or whatever you get your news, be careful about that also. But if you're getting your news from Facebook, from YouTube or whatever, please get your sources right. And sometimes you just have to disengage. Leave everything to the side and find your moment of peace. My daughter's actually going through that right now. She said that she wanted to, just not look at her phone, not look at all that, just because of everything that's happening. And it's good. It's good to get away, but at the same time, remember, if you're able to do that, you, in a way, have privilege. You are privileged enough to get away from that. There's people who can't. There's people who live through this every day. And right now, this is the time that I think instead of us, pointing the finger at people, you know what? People are fed up. Okay? And if they take a freaking TV, they break a window, so what? Okay? It's not going to change anything. Okay? Target, multi-million-dollar corporation, they care about their shareholders. That's what they care for. That's who they care about. They don't care about anybody else. When we go and shop there, We're giving them our dollars. We're making them rich. Look at what's happening during the pandemic. You know, Amazon, Jeff Bezos, right? And he's not the only one. So again, stop looking at the property loss, okay, and look at the conditions. You know, the last thing I want you to, I want to leave you with is think of all this as a pressure cooker, okay? When, a pressure cooker, it's going. Eventually, it explodes. Well, guess what? We're looking at the explosion instead of paying attention to the fire that's underneath. If we didn't have that fire underneath constantly, then there would not be an explosion, okay? And that's what's happening in the past 20, 30 years since the 92 uprising. But again, we look at history and it's gone on and on since the beginning of this country, okay? There's been a fire on people of color. And then people get upset when that pressure cooker explodes? Really? That's why you're getting upset? You gotta get your priorities straight. Or freaking get a book and read history, okay? So you can learn and see that this is not new, that fire has been going on and on and on, and it just now that pressure cooker, boom, explodes, okay? So if we don't put out the fire, meaning the conditions, the system that created that, we're gonna have that over and over again. The same people are gonna be complaining about that without looking at the fire. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the dish, and I hope all of you understand the history of this country.